All right, we are live, sir. Let me get us good to go on this.
Ready to roll.
We are ready to roll. Anybody who is on early, give us just a second. We are waiting for some more people to jump on and we will get started.
Yeah, buddy. Give us a shout out there, whoever's on watching with us.
Absolutely. We do have one on. It doesn't tell me who that's from. It's coming from Twitter, actually. So shout out to
Nice.
whoever's using X over there. Um, let's see. We need to take this and take it that way. And then, well, Jordan, how's the weather going out your way, man?
Oh, buddy, it's cold. It's cold and icy. How about you?
Man, out here in Nashville, we got a lot of the snow. We got it earlier than you guys did, but it's just been, horrible weather for the past couple of days.
Oh, I know it, man. It was awful. It poured snow about all day yesterday. I'm just glad nobody's lost power.
Yeah, I am too, man. Out here in Nashville, I know that there were some issues on the south end of town, but looks like it's kind of got a lot of that resolved right there,
Yeah,
thankfully.
yeah,
Because nobody wants to deal
absolutely.
without power right now during all this.
Once it's let up, too, the road crews have done really good keeping everything clear for us out this way too. So thankfully, we're good to go.
Absolutely, man. One last thing to do right here, and we will be ready to go for you guys.
Heck yeah. We probably got about 4 or 5 inches here though. Not near what they were calling for, but I enjoy the snow as long as I ain't got to get out in it.
I hate it no matter what. I hate it no matter what. Um, all right, guys. Well, welcome into this live edition of the Fallen Out podcast. I am Grant. I'm sitting over here with Jordan. How are you doing today, bud?
Man, I'm good. I'm ready to watch these watch our Tennessee Vols handle some Gators.
Absolutely, man. I'm ready for it. I wish I was going to be in Knoxville at the Food City Center today, but the weather restrictions have placed a damper on that. So we're going to bring a live show to you guys right now. So for about the next 30 minutes, sit tight, hang with us. Let us know what you guys think. Drop some comments so we can all be able to interact right there. But what do you say, Jordan? Let's go ahead and let's get started, man.
Let's get it, buddy. So we're coming into this one. We're Tennessee's pretty looking pretty good on the season, coming off that win the other day against Georgia. Excuse me. Uh, Florida's coming in. They mollywopped Arkansas the other night, didn't they?
They sure did, man. And I am pulling up the stats on that right here. But the Gators are not a bad team. They're not the team that we all thought they would be going into this point in the season. They are much better, but they did beat the Hogs by a final score of 92-68 right here. So this is not a bad basketball team Tennessee's going to be going up against for this. I guess it's a Tuesday evening game. Game was originally slated for 6 p.m. Eastern, changed over to 5 p.m. due to the weather issues in the Knoxville area. But rest assured, Fallen Out is here to bring you a post game show and break it down right after on the pod. So it'll be up streaming on YouTube and wherever you listen.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to breaking this one down tonight, especially if we win. I don't want to have a mad Grant.
I don't think anybody wants to have a Mad Grant anymore, especially after that bull crap from Mississippi State last week on Wednesday. Nobody wants to see me get that way again, myself included, right there. So let's jump through on this and get it taken care of. But man, kind of diving into what the all-time record is in the series. The Florida Gators did win the last matchup, which was on February 1st, 2023. The Vols went down to Gainesville, ranked number 2 in the country, and came away with a 13-point loss. Gators won that one 67-54. There was a lot of talk about Tennessee jumping into being the number 1 team in the country going into that game. If they took care of business in that, the number 1 team in the country had lost going into that prior. So Tennessee, you got kind of a revenge game on your hands more so than anything else right here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's sort of the same scenario Tennessee had going into that Miss State game. Everybody in front of them had lost, and Miss State come out and they said no, sir. So tonight they need to get it done. They need to get it done.
Well, you have to, man. I mean, you look at it right now, the Vols are ranked sixth in the country, so you only dropped one spot after that piss poor performance from Mississippi State last week. Could have dropped a whole lot further, or maybe even stayed exactly where you were if you would have taken care of business against the Dogs a little bit earlier on Saturday. But that's neither here nor there. This is a great opportunity for the Vols to jump on and get things right and really right the ship and let Dalton Connect kind of be able to do what he has been doing for the past little bit.
Let's hope we keep Dalton off the falling out milk carton this week. But you all the points you made about Tennessee going into this game are all solid. But Florida really needs this one. They're right now in the bracketology. They are in the next four out. So this is a big resume builder for them if they can get that dub today.
Well, it's a major quadwood win for the Gators if they do get that W right there. But Tennessee is sitting at number two as a 2 seed currently when it does come to bracketology. So Tennessee really has an opportunity to go out there and get another quadwood win, build that resume. But the Gators also do as well, kind of what you're saying right there with them being on the first four out. Tennessee has an opportunity to go through and take this one and do what they're supposed to do with this game. But the Gators could come into Knoxville and really be able to take away a huge upset victory for them and a place that's, I mean, almost impossible to win at.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's crazy to think how far Tennessee basketball has come. We talk about it just about every time we're on here, but we are now a resume builder as opposed to looking to build our own resume every year. You know what I mean?
Well, man, and that's a great thing to have. Kind of touching on what the Gators have done in this series and the history of it. The Gators have only won 18 games in Knoxville, and this dates all the way back to January 8th, 1927. So Knoxville has been a very, very tough place for the Gators to come in and get a win in basketball. And I look for the Volunteers to kind of keep it the same way today.
Yeah, as long as Tennessee plays well, they should. Diving into some of this, though, man, Florida is averaging 86.4 points a game. That's third in the conference, right behind Bama and Kentucky. So Tennessee's going to have to come out and put some points up. Tennessee averages 78.7 a game, and that's good enough for fifth. So lock down on some defense, and we'll see what happens.
Well, that's big right there, man. And kind of going into Tennessee a little bit more right here as well. Tennessee does have the second ranked defense in the nation. So Tennessee being able to go out and play strong defense and knock down shots when they're supposed to is what's really going to fix what could possibly be out of this game. Tennessee needs to get out there, play great defense, stop the Gators from being able to score. And when you do something like that, you're going to be able to control the pace of the game. And it kind of goes back to what I've talked about earlier last week and the past couple of weeks. If Tennessee plays their brand of basketball and the style that they like to play, Tennessee's not going to lose to anybody in the country. But this Gator team loves to get out and run the floor. They like to score a whole lot. And I know you'll touch on that here shortly, but being able to stop them and play the style of basketball that you like to play as Tennessee is what's really going to be key when it comes to this game.
Absolutely, man. As far as like offensive rating goes, they are 116.9, and Tennessee is at 113.9. So it's two really, honestly, solid offensive teams. Florida's numbers look really good. I think where it's going to come down to, though, honestly, for Tennessee to win the game is keeping Florida off the boards. They're good enough for first in the conference at 42.3. Tennessee is third at 36.6. That's seven more. Basically, let's call it what it is: 7 more opportunities to score for Florida if they out rebound Tennessee at that clip.
Well, and it's a very big possibility when it does come down to it at the end of the day. Tennessee's got to get out there. Jonas Adu, you've got to get your hand on those boards right there that are coming down. Jonas and Tobe, it's time to really see you guys come out and do what you're able to do. I mean, didn't really get to see a whole lot of it, especially from Tobe in that Georgia game or that Mississippi State game. Jonas played two great games right there once again. I mean, he had a double-double on Saturday against the Dogs from Athens. Just going to kind of have to see how this one plays out, man. I'm really excited for a huge rivalry game on a Tuesday in the middle of January. This is what college basketball is all about.
Absolutely, man. It sure is. Too, one thing I wanted to bring up, believe it or not, Tennessee actually shoots better from three than Florida does. They're fourth in the conference with 8.7 a game made, and Florida's only at ninth with 7.6. So we're not making a ton more than they are, but I think maybe we might be a little bit more efficient than they are. So I want to say Tennessee out rebounds them and hits the three ball well. Tennessee's got a pretty good shot at winning the game.
Well, the stat that controls victories in every single aspect of basketball, it doesn't matter if you're playing pee wee ball all the way to the NBA. The team that comes away with the most rebounds 9.999% of the time, 99.99999% of the time. Sorry, right there, y'all. But the team that comes away with the most rebounds is always going to be the one who comes out victorious. And if Tennessee's able to do that and knock down the open threes, a get right game for Santiago Vescovi is a must. But the Vols should be able to come out of this one with a victory without a whole lot going into that.
You would think so. I absolutely would think so. It's just we'll see what happens. This is a big this is the biggest conference game so far for Tennessee, and I would say the same for Florida. So let's see what happens and get it done today.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be the second biggest game for the Vols this entire season when it comes to SEC play. You've got the two against Kentucky, but other than that, I mean, your next biggest rival is Florida. It doesn't matter if it's underwater basket weaving. It doesn't matter if it's track and field. It doesn't matter what sport it is. If the Vols play the Gators, people in the 865 and all across the Volunteer State are going to get up for this just because of what this game means to the fan base.
Absolutely. Now to me, I'm more Kentucky's got to be. Well, it sounds like you are too. Kentucky's got to be the biggest basketball rival. That's the only thing they matter in. I said it.
Well, you're not wrong on that. I mean, hell, Kentucky can't beat you in football. They can't beat you in baseball. They can't beat you in nothing. Basketball's the one thing they've got. There are 3 B's that the state of Kentucky has: bourbon, barrel racing, and basketball. Football ain't in there. Baseball ain't in there. This is all that's all Kentucky's got. But we're here to talk about the Gators today. But in my opinion, this is the second biggest rival for the basketball Volunteers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say this too, just to crack on Kentucky one more time. I noticed you didn't say a fourth one. And the fourth one is most definitely not ever going to be Babes.
Man, Knoxville stays undefeated when it comes to everything. It doesn't matter.
Right.
College sports city, girl city, anything like that. Volunteers got you taken care of right there.
They got them summer teeth up there. Summer in their mouth, summer in their pocket.
Some are here, some are there.
That's right.
There we go. So kind of pulling up one other thing I do want to touch on with this game for you guys. Dalton Connect just absolutely made history last week. And if he's able to kind of touch on what he did last week and really be able to carry it over, it's going to go into a huge rivalry week for the Vols. Sure, you have the Gators today, but then you play the Crimson Tide from Alabama on Saturday as well. So just a really, really big week for Tennessee basketball as a whole in general. But in a 2-point span in the last 25 seasons, Dalton Connect is now sitting tied for second in points over a 2-game span. Number 1 was Chris Lofton in the 2006 to 2007 season. He dropped 66 points. And then Dalton Connect is tied with Grant Williams and Chris Lofton for that second spot right there as well. Dalton Connect had 64 over those 2-game span. Then you had Grant Williams with a 64 point in a 2-game span back in the 18-19 season. And Chris Lofton also had 64 in the 05-06 season. So Dalton Connect is really kind of putting his name up there in Tennessee basketball history, and enjoy it while you can, ladies and gentlemen, because Dalton is not going to be here for too long. I mean, as soon as the tournament's over with, Dalton's going to be in the NBA after that. And he's going to be a guy we're able to hang our hat on for a while. Even though he was a 1-year rental, he's the exact 1-year rental that you need with this team.
He was the missing piece for Tennessee this year, I think. And we'll only know that true answer though come March.
Well, we're getting really close to it, man. We're getting very, very close to it. So, Jordan, with it being Florida Day today, I want you to give me your top 3 moments in the series against, the Gators. What are your top 3 moments that you've seen in your lifetime?
All right, I can do that. Uh, Number three's got to be the Team Gator Chomp in Florida here a while back. That riled them up, son. Riled them up. They didn't like that. Then I'm gonna go with our boy Eve Pons throwing a block party with a school record 9 blocks in the SEC tournament in Nashville in 2021.
Well, so if you remember that game back in 2021 as well, that was where Omar Payne took those elbows up to John Fulkerson and took him out of the rest of the season, which gave us that other year of Fulky. But Eve Pons really had to be the driving factor for that team after that injury happened, which was, I want to say there was about 13 minutes left in the second half whenever that dirty play did happen from Omar Payne.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I remember that. That was one of the dirtiest plays I think I've ever seen.
Would you expect anything less from Florida?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But thinking about that still pisses me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is what it is, though. My top moment, though, I got to go back to all the way back to '07. Our boy Seeloff dropping 21 on Senior Day in Knoxville to upset Florida, 86-76.
Ooh, man. Those were the days back then. That was a
I
lot
mean,
of fun.
if you really want me to push it, I could probably go back to the Jerry Green days. I do have a few years on you.
You do have a couple of years on me right there, man. So I've prepared 3 moments for you guys as well on this. So my number 3 is going to be the same as Jordo's right here, the 2019 full team Gator chomp against the Gators down in Gainesville. Really big moment right there because that was back when Tennessee was pushing for that number 1 ranking back in 2019 and was able to get it the following week. But Tennessee solidified themselves as one of the top programs in college basketball and a very tough place to go play in that game. So that's going to go as my number 3. My number 2 right here, and this one is showing a little bit of age for me right here, but back in 2006, CJ Watson takes his elbow and just takes Joakim Noah out of the game right there. Bloody tooth and everything. Joakim Noah was unable to finish the game at that point, and it helped Tennessee win the game in Gainesville. But not just that, Tennessee, after that game, was able to clinch a share of the regular season SEC title, which was something that had not been done in a very, very long time. So I'm going to take that as my number 2 right there. Then my number 1, this is the moment that put Tennessee basketball on the map for the past 20 years, if you ask me. Dane Bradshaw's layup where he got the ball from Chris Lofton, runs down the court and scores right there to end the game. There was, pretty much, it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was almost identical to one. There was just a little bit of time left on the clock, but it was the final dagger for the Gators. And that was back in 2006 as well, which was Bruce Pearl's first year. But that really changed the trajectory of the program, if you ask me. It showed, hey, we can go out here, we can beat our biggest rivals, and we're able to kind of take everything how we want to moving forward versus doing what the Gators want us to do.
I remember that. I remember both of those games. I remember all that very well. Obviously, the third one we both were all about it. So, man, it's always good to beat Florida though. Like you say, it don't matter what it is, and let's hope we see it today, man, for sure.
Well, there's only one sport that they own Tennessee at, and that's football. After that, Tennessee kind of controls everything else, and this is one of our big boy sports right here where we're able to say, hey, we own what you guys do, and we're going to go out here and we're going to take this one and assert our dominance in the Southeastern Conference.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to say though about your number 2 moment there with old CJ and the elbow to Joakim, man, that could not have happened to a finer person. Joakim used to get on my nerves so bad. He still does, just hearing his name.
Man, see, okay, I hated him at Florida. One of my least favorite players in any sport at the college level. He gets to the NBA, and I loved the guy. Great player for the Bulls. Went on and finished his career with the Los Angeles Clippers, but the guy could just flat out ball, and he had a really long career, which was really surprising because whenever he was the guy who came out of high school, I don't think he really had a whole lot of buzz about him either.
Yeah, I don't either. Hats off to Billy Donovan for coaching him up.
It changed the trajectory of what they did down there. I mean, won 2 national championships for the Gators in back-to-back seasons and really kind of became the calling card for that team. Now, the one guy that we haven't touched on from that bunch that just drives me crazy, he became a Gator, was Corey Brewer because he grew up in Portland, Tennessee, man, which is just about 40 minutes north of where I'm sitting right now. That kid should have been a Vol. It shouldn't have even been anything where he was going to Gainesville. It is what it is. We can't hang our hat on the past, but that's one kid right there I would have loved to have seen wear the orange and white.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Tennessee, the state of Tennessee in general, has put out some solid basketball talent. Tennessee's has never been able to land them.
Well, it's kind of like what I was telling you the other day. I want to see Tennessee bring back that series with Memphis because the best high school basketball in America is played in Memphis. It's called Hoop City for a reason. Well, a lot of the guys who grew up in the volunteer state that were great basketball players come from Memphis. I mean, you've had a couple of them come to Tennessee, like a Kennedy Chandler, Scooter McFadden, a couple of guys like that, but you've not really seen a whole lot of guys make that trip east versus, staying out west where you're a closer driving distance to pretty much every single SEC school. So Tennessee's got to find a way to get those guys, get them to come east and be able to, you know, play for the orange and white versus going to Memphis State or going to Arkansas or Ole Miss or Mississippi State or Alabama even. I mean, you got to lock down your borders and you got to keep those guys here, and that's something that Rick Barnes has done an excellent job of during his time at Tennessee.
Absolutely, man. And you brought a name up that I have not thought about in a while. Old Scooter McFadden.
Man, that's a little bit of a nugget right there to drop on you guys.
Right, old Scooter. That's a good one. How about another one though? I know he wasn't from. I don't think he was from Memphis, but he was from the state of Tennessee. Vincent Yarborough.
Oh man, he was
That's an
from
old
I
one.
think it was Jackson, Tennessee, if I remember right.
That sounds about right. He was from West Tennessee, Midwest Tennessee.
Let's
So
see,
that was a good
Vincent
one.
Yarborough. We are going to Wikipedia right now to get that information. He grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee, actually. So
Oh,
East Tennessee
okay.
guy right there. I did not know that one.
We need to learn our geography. We were way off.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I should know the whole state after how far across of it I've lived, but I don't know my geography right there. So, Jordan, give me your score prediction for today. What do you expect to see the Vols do, and who is your projected player of the game for the Volunteers as well?
You know what? Scoring wise, okay, so Florida averages 86 and a half. Basically, Tennessee averages right at 79. I'm going to say the Vols get it done defensively today, and I'm going to call a 79-65 win for the Vols. And projected player of the game, I want to see him get off the milk carton. Let's go with Santi.
Man, I agree with you right there. I really want to see Santi come off the milk carton. I don't want to be tweeting something out later with his face on a milk carton. So let's get that taken care of right there, Santi. My score prediction for today, I've got a feeling that the Volunteers are going to win this one and win this one convincingly. I just think that not really having a whole lot of fans there is going to play more into Tennessee's favor, who is the more experienced team. I mean, you've got a lot of guys right now who are playing basketball for the Volunteers that didn't, they were on the COVID team, Josiah Jordan
Yeah,
James, Santiago Vescovi, a couple other guys who've played college basketball for a while, but they're going to be used to doing that where this Gator team is really young and they've got a lot of young pups on this one. I'm going to take the Vols with a final score of 83-67.
nice. I
I'm
like
gonna,
it.
I'm gonna take an ass whooping right there. My player of the game for the Vols, give me Zakai Ziegler, man. He's been playing the best basketball of his entire career right now, and I really want to see that be able to grow and be able to take something further just because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see that happen too. But I really, really want to see Santi get on it, get off the schneid and play some ball because he's due a good game. He needs a good game. I want to see it happen for him. I want to take him off that milk carton I sent you last night.
Well, if he ain't off the milk carton, I mean, there'll be a segment on that later tonight for you guys whenever you jump on and get the pod any which way you do. So we'll do that. Now, I do see that we do have a couple people watching. Guys, jump into the chat, say hello, ask us some questions. I want to see what you guys are thinking about the game. But if we don't get anything, we will jump off here shortly.
Absolutely. Let's hear what we got out here. I'm dying to answer some questions.
Yeah, as am I. As am I. Diving into this a little bit more, man. I mean, with the Gators, Todd Golden has done a phenomenal job with this basketball program. He's really kind of taken things to a different level down there in Gainesville, which I did not think was possible this early on in his tenure down there. But he's turning Florida basketball into another really good program that can stand atop of the SEC.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, absolutely. You're 100% spot on with that.
Yeah, well, are we going to get any questions? I see some viewers on there. Come on, guys, ask us something or we're going to jump off.
Yeah, get on here with us, boys and girls. We're down to answer whatever you got for us. I don't know if we're gonna get anything from anybody or not.
I don't think we are, man. Well, Jordan, I see you have now got your social media handle up here. So everybody go give our boy Jordan Mountcastle a follow at Jordan Vollet Out. I am Grant Williams, and you can find me on the socials at grant.will94. But always stay tuned with us, you guys. We will be recording our episode tonight as soon as the game is over with, having that out to you guys probably around 11:30 Eastern, so 10:30 Central. So make sure you guys jump on and be able to look for anything on that. And as always, go Vols.
Go Vols, and check out the YouTube tonight. We'll have this up on YouTube tonight too as well. So go Vols, and let's go get some Gators, man.
Man, let's cook some gator jerky tonight. Go Vols.
Go Vols.